The following program is made possible by generous gifts from partners of Benny Hinn Ministries and viewers like you in this area.
Say out loud, Lord Jesus, I believe you are the Son of God.
You rose from the dead.
Cleanse me with your blood, and I am born again.
Pastor Benny Hinn is urgently preaching the gospel to the lost because the world's only hope is salvation through God's only Son, Jesus Christ.
The gift of God is life eternal.
This is your day to join Benny Hinn in proclaiming Jesus as Savior and Healer.
I have heard much about Dr. Wallach, Joel Wallach, and he's with me today on This Is Your Day, and I pray the Lord will really use this man to bless your life and bring health back to your life. And by the way, thank you for being my wonderful partner and friend. I really mean it with all my heart. Thank you, thank you. Doc, I have heard much about you, and I'm glad you're with me. 74 years young. Look at him. You look like 55.
Well, thank you, sir.
Pleasure,
it's
pleasure.
an honor and a blessing to be with you, Pastor Benny.
Well, I'm so glad you're with me. Doc, what is it about you that makes you so different than everybody I've ever had on the program who is dealing in nutrition? I mean, you have a lot of amazing ideas. You just told me a few things that were quite shocking. But I want to hear why nutrition is working and conventional medicine is killing people, like you said, like more people have died. Say that again.
Oh, more people are killed each year by medical doctors in America than the mafia does in 1,000 years.
Well, how can you say that?
Well, because it's a fact. These are government statistics from the Center for Disease Control. Each year in America, medical doctors kill, injure, and infect 15 million Americans. Each year in America.
Because of
negligence, carelessness, don't wash their hands, just simple things like that. Give misinformation. It's a big problem.
You've helped a lot of people.
Millions, Pastor.
How?
Well, first of all, the good Lord is giving us the guidance.
You're a Christian, born-again Christian.
Yes, correct.
So
Absolutely.
how have you helped people?
Well, the thing that makes my view different is that I have a degree in agriculture and I understand soil and plants. I'm a veterinarian, and so in veterinary medicine, animals get the same disease as humans do, but we don't have insurance. We don't have health insurance for animals like we do for people. Health insurance has been the worst possible enemy of human beings because doctors use people as an ATM machine because of the health insurance. In veterinary medicine, if you don't cure the animal on your first visit to the farmer never asks you back because he doesn't have insurance to pay for treating a bull for 25 years. You got to do it the first time. Then I'm a pathologist. I've been on big government projects, NIH projects for the federal government, where I did over 20,000 autopsies, 10 million chemistries. The book's in the Smithsonian Institute is a national treasure, 1,200-page thick book. And the bottom line of the story is that every animal and every human being who dies of natural causes dies of a nutritional deficiency disease. I actually discovered the cause, prevention, and cure of cystic fibrosis back in 1977. And when I pointed out that it wasn't a genetically transmitted disease, which is what is generally thought by the medical profession, it was a simple nutritional deficiency disease during pregnancy, that we could prevent cystic fibrosis, we can reverse it even after the baby's born very quickly, reverse the genetic markers, we can do it. And they fired me because they said, you must be sniffing glue, Wallach. Because you can't do that, it's genetic. I said, no, sir, it's not. Do I get to defend my research like a PhD student? No, you're not even contract, you're fired. So I went back to school and I became a physician so I could treat the kids. It's been the biggest blessing in my life to get fired so I could be a doctor and I can heal people now.
And you've been doing it for?
35 years.
Okay, so what have you found that works, really works?
Well, what I've learned through the animal industry is that all vertebrates, whether you're a hummingbird or a human being or an elephant, all vertebrates require 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids, just like an automobile requires oil and gasoline and oxygen and spark plugs. There's certain things we require. And in the animal industry, since we don't have insurance, we don't do things by chance. So we put everything we know that the laboratory rat needs in his little alfalfa pellet. And in a can of dog food, you read the label, the dog's got everything he needs. There's no chance. We eat well. We squish the tomato and we smell the tomato, and We say, well, it smells good, it tastes good, it'll make good stew and good tomato soup, but we don't know what's in it, for good or for evil. And so what I've come up with using the animal concept and philosophy is to put everything we know that vertebrates, including humans, need, and then whatever's in the food, whatever good stuff is in the food, is value added, as opposed to depending totally on it. That way, we're at least treating ourselves as well as we treat dogs. And doing this in the animal industry, we've eliminated 900 different diseases in dogs that still plague people. We've tripled their lifespans. Pastor Benny, 60 years ago, an old dog was only 8 years old. Today, they're 25 years old. We didn't do that with organ transplants or genetically engineered proteins or stem cells. We didn't do that with wonder drugs. We did it simply by putting vitamins and minerals in their food. And so 35 years ago, I began to do this for people, and praise God, it works.
And yeah, you helped Creflo Dollar, or was it?
Yes,
his,
sir. Yes.
Was it his daughter or him or who?
Both. It was his. First of all, it was his daughter. She was 11 years old when I first was introduced to them by Andy Young from the Civil Rights Movement, and he and I were very good friends. And Pastor Dollar's 11-year-old daughter had terrible asthma. It was progressively getting worse. And the doctors pulled him aside and said, Pastor Dollar, this child's not going to make it. She's not responding to medical treatment. And so Andy Young introduced us, and we put her on the 90 essential nutrients. We got her on a gluten-free diet, and praise God, in 2 weeks' time, she was cured.
2 weeks?
2 weeks, yes, sir. And that was 12 years ago. She's perfectly normal today.
And now you go to his church, I hear, and do seminars or something.
Yes, yes. I give 300 free lectures a year. I do this around the world. I'm trying to keep up with you.
Can you help people with cancer?
Yes, we can help people with cancer,
How?
type 2 diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's disease.
Let's talk about cancer.
Okay, cancer first. Well, first of all, cancer is a self-inflicted disease. It's not genetically transmitted. And so then...
When you say self-inflicted, you mean because of food?
Because what we don't eat, the things we do to ourselves. For instance, there was a wonderful piece of research that came out of the University of South Carolina in 1998. They showed very clearly, we're talking about 90,000 nurses for 20 years. It was part of the nurses' health study. And their part was to look at how the nurses cooked their food. And they found out that if women cooked their roast beef medium rare and ate it medium rare, it reduced the risk of breast cancer by 462%. But if they cooked it well done and ate the meat well done where the fat was burnt, it increased the risk of breast cancer by 462%.
Wow.
It's been known since 1957, if you supplement with 200 micrograms of selenium every day, a trace mineral, it reduces the risk of breast cancer by 82%, prostate cancer by 69%, and it costs you 20 cents a day. Now that's insurance.
Sure.
See, that's insurance, not paying the insurance company to pay the doctor when you mess up. And so also trans fatty acids, which come from oils, things like salad dressings, cooking oils. You eat canned fish and they're packed in oils instead of water, mustard, tomato sauce. Things like I said, fried foods, and these sorts of things turn into trans fatty acids, heterocyclamines, acrylamides. Short order cooks who fry potatoes and fry fish and fry steaks and fry chicken, they get lung cancer without smoking. More people get lung cancer from frying food and inhaling the fumes with trans fatty acid in it than they do from smoking.
I have never heard that.
That's a fact.
Wow.
This is why I say these are self-inflicted things, and here's where the doctors have failed us by not sharing that message.
So how do we reverse that?
Well, just by you asking those questions on this program, you're going to save millions of people because they'll say, I didn't know that. You mean all I have to do is eat my roast beef cooked medium rare instead of well done? I can reduce my risk of breast cancer by 400%.
Eating roast beef medium well.
Medium rare.
Medium rare.
Will reduce your risk of breast cancer by 462%.
I've never heard that from anybody.
It's published.
Where have you been, Doc?
It's published.
Because you hear the opposite. You hear it as, it's got to be well done, no blood, no red, no this, no that, because of the Bible saying no blood. What do you say?
Well, when an animal is killed, when it's butchered, you drain the blood out, and then you don't have to worry about the blood because it's been drained out.
Okay, but now we've heard that it's best to eat it well done. You're telling us no.
No. It increases your risk of cancer. You don't want to do that.
Okay, let's talk about reversing cancer. How?
Okay. Reversing cancer requires two things. Number one, you have to work on cutting off the blood supply to the cancer.
So you can reverse cancer?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Sure. In fact, we did a joint study with Clemson University from University of South Carolina, Clemson University in Clemson, South Carolina. And we started out with human cells in culture, colon cancer cells, stomach and liver cancer cells, breast cancer cells. And we have programs, nutritional programs, and they used our nutritional products with these cell cultures of human cells with cancer, had a 95% kill rate in colon cancer.
Okay, now you said to reverse cancer, you have to cut. Let's go back and talk about that. Cut what?
Okay, you have to cut out fried foods,
Okay.
processed meats with nitrates and nitrites. And this is one of the reasons I find it really very, very sad that a pastor can give the message of the good book to his congregation, and then he goes downstairs after the church and eats fried chicken with everybody and kills everybody with fried chicken.
So no fried foods.
No
What
fried
else?
food. Okay, then they have to stay away from things that inflame the tissues, inflame the immune system. Sugar, gluten is one of the worst ones. Gluten is one of the worst ones.
Because?
Okay, because it causes inflammation, which sets you up for cancerous changes in all tissues.
I mean, we've heard sugar is terrible.
That's right.
Because it feeds cancerous cells.
That's right.
But you're saying gluten also is a no-no.
Yes.
Don't even touch it.
Well, the thing that's going to raise your blood sugar faster than sugar is whole grain bread. Whole grain bread will make your blood sugar go up faster and higher than a tablespoon of sugar.
I'm learning things from you, and I've had many doctors, and I've read books. And
Were they
keep
were your
talking,
guests
Doc. This
medical
is awesome.
doctors?
Pardon?
Were your guests medical doctors, sir?
Yeah, I mean, they were nutritional doctors,
Yes.
medical doctors, but, you know, we learn from a whole lot of you, not just one person.
Yes, yes.
So, no fried foods, no sugars, glutens.
No gluten.
Out. What else, Doc?
Processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, particularly bad for the colon and prostate cancer, colon cancer caused by the nitrates and nitrates.
Okay, now
deli
let's,
slices, sandwich meats.
Let's take someone who
Okay.
has been told, you've got stage 4 cancer.
Okay,
Can you reverse that?
it's possible, not 100% of the time, because of many other side factors, but it is possible. The percentages depend on the type of cancer. One of the easiest ones to reverse is prostate cancer. Nobody should ever die of prostate cancer. When somebody dies of prostate cancer, it's not from the cancer, it's from the treatment. And so it's best to stay away from the treatment.
How do you reverse
Okay.
that type of cancer?
Two things. You have to stop the ongoing damage. No fried foods, no oils, no meat cooked well done, no processed meats with nitrates and nitrites, no deli slices, no sandwich meats. Once you get rid of those things that actually inflame the prostate and the colon and all these types of cancers in the pelvis, even bladder cancer, urinary bladder cancer, then you want to actually directly do what you can to kill that cancer. And here's where certain mushrooms will come in. Reishi mushrooms are very famous. Some of the trace minerals like gallium, germanium, selenium are very, very good supports the immune system.
I had heard that in Israel, that they're using mushrooms,
Yes.
certain mushrooms to cure cancer in Israel.
Yes, they're very, very good, support the immune system. And people have known this for thousands of years, particularly in
Eating mushrooms, or can you juice them, or what?
Well, you can juice them. In fact, there's companies that actually sell mushroom juices. We have mushrooms in many of our, one you'll like, I'll send you some. It's a chocolate we call triple truffle chocolate, and it has mushrooms and reishi mushrooms in there that are actually very good for your immune system.
You want to say anything more about cancer before I move to heart disease? That's, you think people want to hear?
I want people to know that it's not genetic. You can have everybody in your past, your family die of cancer. You're not going to get cancer unless you create it in yourself. It's not a genetically thing. You're not doomed to get it. And if you're proactive, you'd be a little obsessive about staying away from the bad things, you'll avoid cancer 100%.
You can?
Yes, sir.
Avoid cancer?
Yes.
All the way?
Yes, sir.
By, okay, give me the big laws, headline laws on how to avoid it.
Headline laws: No.
No fried food.
No fried food. Yes.
No sugars.
No sugars.
No.
No gluten.
Okay, gluten.
No gluten. No deli slices. No sandwich meats. Nitrates and nitrites.
Okay.
And you must cook your food medium or medium rare as opposed to medium well and well done. Very, very important.
And you have proof on that medium.
Oh, yes, sir.
No well done stuff.
Yes, sir. There's a big study, again, out of the University of South Carolina. And this is me. I'm just reporting what's already been published in scientific journals. And then you must supplement with the trace minerals that will actually support your immune system and actually kill the cancer.
What minerals?
Again, we're talking about selenium for breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, lung cancer, certain types of brain cancer.
Don't we get selenium from certain foods too?
Well,
or not?
Not. The only food that you can guarantee you're going to get some selenium in is liver.
Okay. I'd rather take supplements. Okay.
As most people would.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
in fact, there's a lot of people say there's lots of selenium in Brazil nuts. That's not true. In fact, I was just down in Brazil, bringing a message down to Brazil, and they sell Brazil nuts on the counter like we sell popcorn and stuff. And I said, how much selenium's in there? Oh, everybody asks that. There's none in these because they don't need them.
I read that years ago that there's high amounts of selenium in Brazil nuts. Now you're telling me no.
Not so.
What's the best nuts to eat to help with your health, overall health?
The fresh ones that you can get and crack yourself. If they're already in a bag, and they say naturally gluten-free, and then you roll that bag over and you look on the allergy section in the back, it says these nuts have been packaged on equipment that also packages wheat products.
Wow.
Can't
so
have
the
them.
best, listen, this is good. The best to eat are those
What
still
you
that
crack.
you're going to crack yourself.
That's right.
And get them out of their shell.
Yes, sir.
Including peanuts.
That's right. Well, peanuts, you have to watch those because they do. They produce a toxin called aflatoxin. They're very prone to molding because they grow in the ground. And there's an aspergillus fungus that actually produces this toxin, aflatoxin, which produces liver cancer. And so peanuts are the lowest one on my totem pole for nuts.
And you've seen people reverse cancer.
Yes, sir.
How many? Lots of them?
Thousands.
Really?
Yes,
in the thousands?
In the thousands, yes, sir.
Before we say bye, we're going to continue tomorrow because I want to talk about diabetes and some of
Sure.
the bigger of the big killers too. Let's talk about heart disease.
Okay.
Now that's easier to reverse than cancer, I suppose, isn't it?
Yes, sir. There's not a single heart disease that is genetically transmitted. They're all nutritional deficiency diseases. Some of them are inflicted by, again, free radicals, fried foods, inflammation, gluten.
Wait, Doc. All heart disease is caused by...
Nutritional deficiencies are what you eat, how you cook your food.
Okay.
For instance, congestive heart failure, the most common cause of heart death in American adults, is caused by a deficiency of a single vitamin. We've known that since the late 1700s, discovered by a Japanese naval surgeon, of all people. It's called congestive heart failure. Doctors will give you digitalis for years, and then they'll put you on the heart transplant list. Well, it can be reversed in 5 days. In fact, there's a pastor.
What, 5 days?
Yes, sir. 5 days.
By doing what?
He had congestive heart failure and several other heart diseases, and he was on the heart transplant list for 3 years. In 5 days' time, his cardiologist took him off of 27 prescription drugs, took him off the heart transplant list, and deemed him cured.
How?
How? By giving him these supplements with these nutrients.
What supplements?
Well, for our company's name is the...
No, but I mean, if somebody's watching and they've got somebody who's dying, what do you tell them? What supplements can they take to help?
Okay, well, they have to take the base, okay, which is the 90. You have to take 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. And then for congestive heart failure, I'd have them take extra thiamine, B1. For cardiomyopathy heart disease, which causes sudden heart death, I'd have them take extra selenium. I actually did 1,700 autopsies on people who have died from that one disease. 1,700.
I mean, I know people
that
right now that have, some big problems with their heart. And if they take these supplements, are you saying they can
reverse the disease? Oh, yes, sir. And then also, coronary artery disease is common, where the arteries get plugged. It has nothing to do with cholesterol. Cholesterol doesn't cause a single disease. Cholesterol sort of a straw man. It has nothing to do with any disease, let alone heart disease. When you get on a cholesterol-reduced diet and take statin drugs to lower your cholesterol, you're going to get a lot of diseases I call physician-caused diseases.
Now, they just came out with a report on statin drugs. You agree with that or
No,
not?
sir. That cardiologist, the guy who came out with that statement that everybody needs to be on statin drugs, should be put in jail.
Really?
Yes, sir. And here's why. Because statin drugs, the cholesterol-lowering drugs, created a new category of disease called Alzheimer's disease. It's a man-made disease, a physician-caused disease. Did not exist 42 years ago by any other name. Today, it's the #4 killer of adults over the age of 65, and it was caused by statin drugs lowering cholesterol. Your brain is 75% the myelin, the white matter of the brain, the insulation material, and that's 100% cholesterol. So you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, you're eating egg white omelets and egg beaters instead of eggs, you're eating boneless, skinless chicken breasts, you're using oils and margarines instead of cream and butter for cooking. Guess what? You're going to get Alzheimer's disease. In fact, the FDA, I've been saying that since 1971. Everybody laughed at me. Well, the FDA came out in February of 2012 and said, stop taking statin drugs. The FDA said that in February 2012. Stop taking statin drugs because it will increase your risk of type 2 diabetes by 52% and Alzheimer's disease by 100%.
Wow.
You're going to get Alzheimer's disease if you're taking statin drugs.
So many people have that now. I mean, I have family members who are losing their memory.
It's a physician-caused disease, sir.
It's a physician-caused disease.
That's right, because they tell you to take statin drugs to lower your cholesterol. Your brain is 75% cholesterol.
Doc, wow. Well, how do you help people with heart disease? How do you help people with, who are losing their memory and cancer? You've got stuff to give them.
Yes, sir.
Materials.
Yes.
Like what?
Well, again, they need the 90 essential nutrients. You can't get it from your food anymore. And again,
They need, slow down and say that again. They need the what?
the 90 essential nutrients. 60, 90.
Okay.
60 minerals, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids.
Wait, Doc, slow down. 90 minerals.
No, sir. 90 essential nutrients.
Oh, nutrients.
60 minerals.
60 minerals.
Okay. 16 vitamins.
16 vitamins.
12 amino acids.
Okay.
And 3 essential fatty acids. That adds up to 90.
Do you have all this in your material here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you can tell them what vitamins to take and
Yes, sir.
what, and this CD you said has helped how many people?
Well, millions, because we've sold 200 million of that one CD.
200 million
In copies, yes,
of
sir.
this one CD I'm holding in my hand. What do you mean by dead doctors cannot don't lie? That's what it's called.
That's right. And, well, that actually was a name that was given to it in 1993. I've been lecturing for about 12 years prior to that, and, making audio cassette tapes. Back
And on this CD, you talk about what? Everything you've been talking about and more.
Yes, sir. We cover the basic diseases that affect the American community. Arthritis, diabetes.
Birth defects,
Yes, sir.
allergies, asthma, cancer, insomnia, on and on,
Yes.
fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's, anxiety,
That's just a small
high
number.
blood pressure, pardon.
There's actually 900 different diseases that can be prevented and reversed. Every birth defect is a deficiency, nutritional deficiency of the embryo. None of it's genetically transmitted.
By the way, they're proving what he's saying is right now. There's a number of DVDs out there. One is called Forks Over Knives. One is called Food Matters by Doctors. There's the China study just finished. I mean, I watched all that stuff. I'm convinced because it happened to me, physically to me. I mean, I experienced what you're saying. So I'm sold on this one because I saw conventional medicine harm my body. And then I said to the doctor, forget it. I said, I'm not going to take this stuff because the side effects themselves were worse than what I had. And I went the nutritional way. And my body, I mean, I don't take one pill for nothing right now, and I'm doing well.
That's why so many people love you. Because
I'm 60 years old.
You're
I'm
a great
traveling
leader.
the world. I don't ever get sick, thank God. Not even a headache or a cold, because I have a big bag of vitamins. I really believe in what you're saying.
That's the God stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you just eat right and make sure. Of course, I'm learning things from you right now, too. Okay, Doc, listen. You've got this CD that over 200 million people
Have bought, yeah.
have bought. Wow, that shows you that
People are interested.
Yeah, of course. And the book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie. It's all in the book too.
Yes, sir. Well, there's more information in the book than there is on the CD because you can put charts and tables and
The alternative health tell-all that makes doctors cringe. Wow. Doctors don't like this.
they
What's
don't,
in it,
well,
I
they
guess.
don't like what's in there because, for instance, Pastor Benny, rheumatoid arthritis is curable in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
You can cure arthritis in 2 weeks.
Rheumatoid arthritis is curable.
Rheumatoid
Yes, sir.
arthritis.
Degenerative arthritis and bone arthritis, it takes 90 days to regrow the cartilage. But rheumatoid arthritis is curable in 2 weeks.
Okay, let's talk about this tomorrow because we're really out of time. Here's how you can get these. Watch this. We'll be right back.
Dr. Joel Wallach's groundbreaking studies over decades of research have revealed numerous facts and truths about your health, which are radically different from what you have been led to believe by the medical community. These findings have been distributed worldwide through the material on this phenomenal CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, with more than 200 million copies in circulation. Recorded during Dr. Wallach's lectures, this CD touches on a wide range of subjects, including aging, heart disease, cholesterol, arthritis, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and pregnancy. In all, Dr. Wallach addresses 25 topics and engages in question and answer sessions with the audience. And his book is a comprehensive expansion of the material on the CD, with over 400 pages of information which can significantly impact your quality and length of life. You'll learn how to identify 90 essential nutrients, many of which are not available in food. Prevent and reverse 412 diseases with vitamins, minerals, and herbs. Reach your genetic potential for a long and happy life. Eliminate a major portion of costly medical expenses. Take responsibility for your health, and much, much more. Dr. Wallach's Dead Doctors Don't Lie 400-page book and multi-million selling CD can both be yours today for a gift of $40. It's not too early or too late to gain the knowledge and tools you must have to rescue and revolutionize your health and that of your family and loved ones. Call or order online today.
Please get these today. Change your life. Take charge of your health. Sweet, dear, wonderful partners. You got to do this for yourself because, listen, doctors today are messing people up left and right. You know, they change their mind every few months. Some new report comes out. Oh, this was wrong. You now do it this way. It's really quite confusing out there. Let's take charge of our own life and health. You know, men like Dr. Wallach are really a gift to us because they've gone through it. They do all the hard work and tell us how to live. So get this today. The number is on the screen. Tune in tomorrow because I'm going to talk to him about reversing arthritis and diabetes.
Yes, sir.
And other things too.
Yes, yes.
I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
The following program is made possible by generous gifts from partners of Benny Hinn Ministries and viewers like you in this area.
Say out loud, Lord Jesus, I believe you are the Son of
rose
God.
from the dead.
Cleanse me with your blood, and I am born again.
Pastor Benny Hinn is urgently preaching the gospel to the lost because the world's only hope is salvation through God's only Son, Jesus Christ.
The gift of God is life eternal.
This is your day to join Benny Hinn in proclaiming Jesus as Savior and Healer.
I am fascinated, and I mean fascinated, by Dr. Wallach. You know, I've had many guests on This Is Your Day. I've shown you miracles and healings from around the world. In fact, I'll be showing you some next week. Don't miss next week. Be showing you what God did in Israel. The power of God hit on the Sea of Galilee, people getting healed. And I'm going to believe God with you that God's going to heal you. I'm telling you, when you watch next week's programs, and I'll be praying for you at the end of those programs, just believe God to heal you. Thanks also for being my partner. Thanks for being my wonderful, sweet friend. I really love you. Suzanne and I absolutely love you. Dr. Wallach, like I was just saying, I've had many guests, but I've never had one like him. And I'm really fascinated by what you've accomplished so much for God's people. Like millions of people, literally millions, have been helped by you, not thousands,
No,
millions.
And it's a great honor. And of course, I figured this out when I was 9, Pastor Benny. And I realized that, and even when I was 9, that a 9-year-old kid is not going to figure this out by himself. So I knew that I had a divine appointment when I was 9.
That God really called you to help people. Okay, now we're talking about how to reverse disease. I've had Dr. Braverman here, I've had Dr. Don Colbert, Gary Gordon, on and on and on. And you know, I think all of you doctors that deal in nutrition are really a gift to all of us.
Absolutely, and I know these men, they're great men.
Yeah. You know, I've been watching some amazing programs. One of them called Forks over Knives. You really need to see it. Forks, like a fork over knives. And one called Food Matters. These are doctors, top doctors, that have studied nutrition and what is going on today in America. How many people are getting killed, dying literally from prescription drugs, from conventional medicine. They're dying unnecessarily from just taking all these drugs.
1.5 million a year are killed just from decimal point errors in fulfilling prescriptions. 1.5 million are killed and permanently injured in America alone.
Now
Just from
you
decimal
use the
point.
word killed,
Yes,
but
sir, like dead.
I mean, but they're dying. Nobody's killing them, but they're
Yes, the drugs. These are people who may have like migraine headaches, and the doctor writes the prescription wrong, or the pharmacist fulfills it wrong, or they have a child that has strep throat, and he's supposed to get a prescription penicillin, and the pharmacist is a little busy, and he puts in chemotherapy for a 300-pound man for a strep throat for a 3-year-old kid and kills a kid. This happens.
I mean, I heard on one of those DVDs, like Food Matters, they said that something like 100 and something thousand people a year die from side effects.
Oh, yeah, the side effects,
drugs.
are nothing compared to the mistakes.
Wow.
Mistakes are much more dangerous than even the side effects.
You've helped Creflo Dollar speaks well of you because you helped his daughter.
11-year-old daughter, and then he also uses our products because he gives 2
Tell me about
servings.
his daughter. She was given up by.
Yeah, the medical doctors
what
told
happened?
him that she was probably not going to make it. She was one of these kids who didn't respond to medical treatment for asthma. And Andrew Young from the Civil Rights Movement, he was actually scheduled to have both his knees replaced, and I rebuilt his knees. He canceled his.
Andrew Young, the guy from Atlanta, who used to be with Jimmy Carter.
Yes, he was the ambassador to the UN for Jimmy
Yeah,
Carter.
I remember that.
He was Martin Luther King Jr.'s general to keep the buses full during the protest.
Right.
And he was the mayor of Atlanta. Very, very.
I remember him.
Yep,
of
very,
course.
very important man. And he was.
You
scheduled-
helped him with his.
He was scheduled to have both his knees replaced, and I rebuilt his. He canceled his surgeries. I said, I can do this in 90 days. Okay, doc, I'll give you 90 days. So quicker, it was like 60 days. I was able to rebuild his knees.
How, Doc?
With the 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids.
Now slow down, and because I had him do this yesterday at the end of the program. Okay, give me that list again that helped Andrew Young and Creflo's daughter and him and millions of people like them. One more time, 90
essential nutrients.
Nutrients that we all need.
Yes.
90 essential nutrients.
Yes, sir, you got it.
And we need what else?
Well, in some cases, you need a little extra of some. For instance, with diabetes, you need some extra of some of those. And I can take a type 2 diabetic who is very, very brittle. Their A1C hemoglobin is out of control. Their blood sugar is out of control, even with injectable insulin. Anywhere from 2 weeks to 2 months, they're an ex-diabetic. We can make California a diabetes-free state in 90 days if everybody would do the same program.
Really? Okay. Well, run that list again by me. Okay. 90
Essential nutrients.
Okay.
60 minerals.
60 minerals.
60.
60.
16 vitamins.
16 vitamins.
12 amino acids.
12. Okay.
And 3 essential fatty acids.
With those 5 groups, you can fix anything. Is that it?
Yes, sir. But if you want to make it go faster, you have to put more of what we call the secret sauce for each disease. Okay, for instance, everybody needs, just like everybody needs oxygen, everybody needs water, Everybody needs the 90 essential nutrients, 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential
Why
minerals.
doesn't the medical profession agree with you? They think, forgive me, but they think many of you are quacks, you know?
This is true.
Why?
Okay,
Is it because of
insurance.
money?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's insurance. For instance, if they were to cure you, see, there's no laws requiring them to cure you when there's a cure available.
Well, there's no money in health. Okay, fine. We know that.
Yes, yes.
So it's all about moolah.
Yes, sir.
Making money.
Very-
So they don't care about people's health.
Well,
I mean, you know, I shouldn't really say that. Okay.
when they go to medical school, they might start out being altruistic when they start into medical school. But by the time they graduate, they have been changed. Okay? The pharmaceutical industry gives them things. They start giving them things. They give them books and pay for trips and give them their first stethoscope and give them their first
So a
ophthalmoscope.
pill for every ill doesn't work.
No. For instance, a good example, my favorite example is rheumatoid arthritis.
Let's talk about arthritis.
Rheumatoid arthritis is an infection with a bug called mycoplasma. And mycoplasma is primarily a respiratory drug, but it gets in your bloodstream and sets up housekeeping in your joints and causes rheumatoid arthritis. You can kill it with a antibiotic in 2 weeks called minocycline. Just like you can kill the syphilis bacteria in 2 weeks with penicillin, you can kill strep throat bacteria with penicillin.
Listen, he told us some powerful things yesterday about reversing cancer. You really need to watch that program. And heart disease. I mean, this man is really top notch. He knows what he's talking about.
You're too kind.
No, I mean, it's true because I've seen it happen too in my own life, and I've seen it happen in people's lives. Okay, so you can reverse arthritis.
Yeah, rheumatoid arthritis is curable in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yes, sir. But the physician will only make $300 in office calls if he cures it. But if he treats you for rheumatoid arthritis with gold shots and methotrexate and joint replacements over 25 years, he makes $750,000. So he has a choice. Does he make $750,000 or does he make $300,000?
So extend the disease so you can make more money. How
Yes, sir.
sad. But you can fix it in 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
How?
Okay, well, I would give people two choices. They can have either the minocycline, which is a member of the tetracycline family antibiotic. I can kill the bug. Or I can give them a set of herbs, which will also support the immune system, and 2 of the 8 herbs would have antimicrobial properties and kill the bug. This is going to take 60, 90 days to rebuild the damage using what we call the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. It has the 90 essential nutrients and extra of the secret sauce, which actually rebuilds the cartilage.
You know, people said, why are you promoting all these nutritionists? If people get healthy, then you're out of the ministry. You're wrong, because I am preaching the gospel. My first calling is get people saved. I'll always have something to do. But you know why I'm doing this? Because I am so tired of seeing God's people sick. I'm serious with you. I have seen more sickness. I'm 60 years old, okay? I've seen more sick people, I think, than most people alive. As I travel the world, I see sickness everywhere. And Doc, it's time we talk about health, not just healing.
Yes.
And that's why you're here.
Yes, and of course, prevention is always the best. Just like you put oil in your car to prevent the engine from burning up, you take the 90 essential nutrients before you get sick, then you don't get sick. And this is the way the good Lord meant it to be, and this is why he put Adam in the Garden of Eden. And of course, all this ended.
You mentioned that with the garden
yes.
because of the 4 rivers
Yes.
and all the minerals that were in that garden.
Yeah, the minerals come with the silt in the river during the flood time, rebuild the minerals in the soil. And the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Pishon and Dishon rivers. And this was the first MapQuest because it gives you exactly where the Garden of Eden is. Those 4 rivers are still there today. The Garden of Eden is still there today, east of Eden. And
So what we need is minerals in
Yes,
our
sir.
body.
and you don't get it from the food anymore, and here's why. We dammed up all the rivers, and so the soil doesn't flood anymore, and reestablished the minerals of the soil. That doesn't happen anymore. We're killing the ocean because we've cut off the food supply to the ocean by damming up the rivers. The food supply was the minerals going out into the ocean to grow the plants and the algae which fed the fish.
Wow.
We're not overfishing the ocean. We've cut off the food supply to the ocean by damming up the rivers. Then, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, everything changed. Our traditional source of minerals went away in a heartbeat. At 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882.
What happened?
Because prior to that, everybody used a wood stove. Okay, and what do we do with the wood ashes every morning? They went out in the garden. Wood ashes are not ashes. Wood ashes are really the minerals that are left when you burn the wood in the tree. You throw the plant minerals, aka wood ashes, out into the garden, and then the corn and the tomatoes and the sweet potatoes and onions and peas and beans and squash and okra, whatever you're growing out there, sucks up all these minerals. You ate your food. You got your mineral supplements by putting the plant minerals, aka wood ashes, from your wood stove and fireplace into the garden. Well, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, Thomas Edison pulled the switch on the first commercial electric generating plant on Pearl Street, New York. Within 10 years, Pastor Benny, in every industrialized nation, the general population had converted from wood as the universal fuel to electricity, propane, and natural gas. And they didn't replace our source of minerals. And so we went from getting our minerals with the wood ashes, from ashes to ashes, went from getting our nutrients from wood ashes to where do they come from? Nowhere. And so we have to consciously supplement with them now because we're not putting wood ashes in our food anymore.
How do we find those minerals today for you, for me?
Okay, we actually have a place that has 77 minerals, including all 60 essential minerals in optimal amounts. There's actually an ancient compost pile that was underneath the sea for thousands and thousands of years. And this is part of our program with we call the Healthy Start Pack.
But can we not get them from a health food store?
No, sir.
How's that?
Because we're the only ones that have access to it.
How's that?
Well, we have in perpetuity, we have an arrangement with the state that owns it. It's actually state property. And we have an arrangement with them in perpetuity that we're the only ones that can get to this stuff. And we extract the minerals from it. It's kind of like making a sun tea. We don't put any chemicals or anything. We just put it in water and it leaches the minerals out. When it reaches a certain level, we bottle it. We can either have it in capsules and dry so it's easy to carry around, or in liquid. I prefer the liquid because it's easy to absorb. And you get 77 minerals, including all 60 essential ones. And that's the basic core of what makes us different.
Let's talk about diabetes. Mm-hmm. You can reverse diabetes too.
Yes, sir. We've known for 70 years that diabetes, type 2 diabetes, which makes up 98% of the diabetic population, is a simple mineral deficiency. We've known it for 70 years. It's not genetically transmitted at all. That is easily reversed. Okay, usually within, I've had it happen as quickly as 2 days, but I'd say 2 weeks to 2 months, somewhere in there it's going to take. And I've had some pretty heavy challenges by a fellow who owns the third largest medical laboratory in America, Gamma Labs. And he had terrible diabetes, so was just not responding to any medical treatment. And so we made a bet. His name is Jerry Murphy. I said, I can reverse your diabetes within 90 days. He said, well, you know, I know the best endocrinologists, and they're saying I've got diabetes that can't be reversed. It's genetic. I said, no, that's not true. He said, okay, I'll give you 90 days, Wallach. So I'll tell you what, I'll be your best friend, which he has become my best friend, if you're able to do what you can say and get rid of my diabetes in 90 days.
Wow. And you helped Andrew Young to you. Now, you didn't, by the way, finish by telling us what happened to his knees.
Oh, I regrew the cartilage in his knees, and he didn't have to have his knee replacements. That was in 1991.
You regrew the actual bone.
Bone and cartilage.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir. It's regrowable.
And you did it with all the minerals and all the nutrition you mentioned?
Yes.
So if I called Andrew Young right now and asked him, he would,
if he knew me,
verify that you did that?
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. I've sat in his living room many, many times. We, have a little glass of red wine, and we'll discuss politics.
Hey, by the way, is red wine okay?
Absolutely. Has
Does it help you?
in it. Yes, sir. It has resveratrol.
But can't we take the pills themselves?
I have the pills too. If you prefer the pills, if you don't want the alcohol.
Which is better?
Well, they're the same. Just some people are against alcohol, and they don't have to drink the red wine.
Just asking because people like to know about this.
Yeah.
Keep talking about the diabetes.
Okay. Well, diabetes again is a deficiency of a mineral. Of a mineral.
One
mineral. And so you take the 90, take extra of the mineral, we call it our healthy blood sugar pack, and it goes away.
Doc, you're serious.
Dead serious, Pastor Benny.
You can reverse diabetes in an elderly, like someone in their 80s?
Oh, yes, sir. And kidney failure. We get people off of, in fact, I just had a gentleman in Moncton, Canada, which is 1,000 miles east of New York, and in Atlantic time. When it's 1 o'clock, when it's noon in New York, it's 1 o'clock in Moncton. This guy, his name is Tug. He's 87 years old. He could not urinate since he was 14. He was on dialysis 6 days a week.
Wow.
Since he was 14 to 87, diabetes. We got rid of his diabetes and got him off of dialysis and had him urinating again in 2 weeks. with our program.
What did you do to help Creflo's daughter with asthma?
We gave her the 90 essential nutrients and got her on a gluten-free diet.
Okay, now when you give someone all the nutrients,
Yes, sir.
what happens to their body? Does their body kind of help itself?
Yes, yes. Well,
What happens?
well, part of the
like
secret-
someone like her that's, doctor said, okay, no help.
That's
We're
right.
not going to help you.
Well, there's no drug that could help her anymore. Okay, and so there's two parts to the secret. So don't tell anybody. Part number one.
We're telling the whole world. Go ahead, Doc.
Part number one is you have to make sure that they're absorbing it. And this is why you had to get this little girl on a gluten-free diet. Allow her intestines now to absorb these nutrients.
Because gluten.
Stops absorption of nutrients.
Oh boy. I'm
Changes
glad.
the lining of the intestine.
And you said we get gluten from bread.
Yes,
and,
sir. Bread. Now, see, in the biblical
and
days,
cereals and other things too.
yes, we actually have a CD called Serial Killers.
What?
Serial Killers.
Really?
Yes, that tell you all the hidden places you're going to find gluten.
Okay, well, you know what? I want to hear what you were saying earlier, and I'm going to ask you
Okay.
more about gluten. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's worth 2 months worth of lectures.
Man, yeah.
But at any rate, the diabetes is easily gotten rid of. And so at any rate, Jerry Murphy says, I'll be your best friend if you can do it in 90 days. So within 90 days, his diabetes is gone. But he said, if you fail, when we first made the wager, he said, if you fail, Wallach, he says, I will destroy you.
That's a threat.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. He says, I lecture 3 times a week to medical groups. He says, I will tell everyone, I will make a CD and I'll hand them out. I'll make sure everybody knows you're a fraud if you fail. I will destroy you because
Wow.
I'm everywhere. And I said, okay, Jerry, you're on. And he backed up and he says, no, wait a minute, Wallach. He says, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm not making this up. I said, are you afraid, Jerry? Come on. And so we made the wager, and sure enough, within 3 months, everything was normal, and he was off his medication.
Let's go back to Creflo's daughter.
Yes, sir.
You said there's 2 things.
Yes.
One, the body has to absorb
Yes. So
the
you have
nutrients.
to get a gluten-free diet.
Okay, and then
And the
what?
second one, you have to give the 90 essential nutrients according to body weight. That's very important. This is what we do in the veterinary industry. If you go to a grocery store, you find dog food for toy dogs under 10 pounds of body weight. You find dog food for medium-sized dogs, 35 to 50 pounds, large breeds, 50 to 100 pounds. And human beings is based on age. Well, you and I see lots of people, and you'll see people who are 70 years old and they weigh 75, 80 pounds.
Right.
And you'll see kids who are 12 years old weigh 200 pounds. And so you can't go by age, you got to go by weight. And so if you're going to get a predictable result, you have to go by body weight. That way everybody's getting the same dose per pound, the same dose per pound.
Now, they just released a study about statin drugs. Everybody needs to take them, blah, 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 blah.
Not true.
And you're saying, forget it.
The doctor who said that should be put in jail because he's going to create Alzheimer's disease in every person in America who takes a statin drug.
So people that have high cholesterol, what should they do?
They should check themselves out because they probably have prediabetes or diabetes or low thyroid or deficiencies of certain nutrients like omega-3s. That causes high cholesterol. High cholesterol doesn't cause any heart disease. High cholesterol does not cause any disease. High cholesterol is a red warning light. And I tell people, you look at the red warning light in the dashboard of your car. Does it cause harm to your car? No. It's warning you there's a problem. If you lower your cholesterol, all you're doing is cutting the wire to the red warning light.
And you lower it how? Walking?
No, you don't want to lower it.
You do not want to lower it.
No. Normal is 220 to 270. Doctors say below 200. No, 220, 270 is normal.
I like this, doctor. Wow. So you just what? Do what?
Well,
Nothing?
No. I like people to eat our weight. I weigh 155. What do you weigh?
About the same.
Okay. So we should be eating 4 to 6 eggs a day, poached or soft-boiled.
Yellow and all.
Yellow. Oh, yes, sir. That's the best part.
And the tastier part, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, you have to think about it. The chicken egg is one of the greatest creations of the good Lord. Everything that, see, the chick, when the egg is laid, is the size of a 0 on a printed page. It's that little white spot sitting on top of the yolk. That's the chick. In 21 days exactly, Pastor Benny, that little dot on top of that yolk eats all that yolk and the white, and that egg cracks open, and there's a full-blown chicken there with a heart, a liver, kidneys, brain, eyes, skin, intestinal tract, feathers, bones, cartilage, all comes from everything that's in that egg. Egg is a perfect food.
Wow. And butter is good for you.
Oh, yes, sir.
And what else? Like milk, they say don't touch dairy products. Yes or
Well,
no?
You must eat these things. Now, I have another book out called Immortality. In this book, Immortality, my wife and I took 10 years to write this book, and we looked at the top 20 longevity cultures on Earth. They're all third world cultures. They're illiterate. They have no doctors, no clinics, no hospitals, no private or government insurance, yet they have 40 times 100-year-olds we do. They're all very religious. They all go to church every day. They all go to service every Sunday, okay? But they go to church every day and do volunteer labor, if you will, for the church. They grow things for the church, for the pastors and so forth, the church. And then, by dumb luck, they just live in a place that has the 60 minerals in the soil, and they only eat 900 calories a day. Now, there is a science that shows when you have a calorie-restricted diet, you're going to add many years to your life. But they don't know that science. They're just so poor they can only afford 900 calories a day.
Now listen, the doctor has a lot of material. We're almost out of time. I've really enjoyed you, Doc.
Well, thank you.
You said over 200 million people
sir.
got this CD that I'm
Probably
holding
more.
in my
Yeah,
hand.
that was 200 million sold. You know, who knows how many pirated ones there were.
200 million sold.
Yes, sir.
What's in this that people want so bad?
Well, it teaches them how to eliminate the main diseases in their life, either prevent them or get rid of them. Arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, Alzheimer's disease, fibromyalgia, lupus, birth defects.
Why do you call this Dead Doctors Don't Lie?
Well, because that's the only time they won't.
Doc, you're good. Okay, so this CD, over 200 million sold.
Yes, sir.
And it kind of tells you...
How to add 25 to 50 healthy years to your life. That's the short version.
Really?
Yes, sir.
So I can, if I listen to this, I can live 25 years longer.
There's one caveat.
Okay.
You have to take action and do what it says.
Well, of course.
Just listening isn't enough.
Take charge of your health.
Yes, yes, sir.
And the book is about the same, or there's a lot more in the book, I'm
A lot more in
sure.
the book because there's tables and charts you can't get on a CD. So there's tables and charts in there. Which
What do you tell people in the book that you don't say in the CD?
Well, the basic story is the same, but again, there's tables and charts which show very clearly things you can't show a table and a chart on a CD.
You say here, the alternative health, tell all that makes doctors cringe.
It's because if everybody were like you and me health-wise, Pastor Benny, the medical system would be very humble because you go to a doctor, I go to a doctor once every 75 years.
You're 74 now.
74, yes, sir.
You've never been to a doctor?
Not since I was 9, 66 years.
You don't go for checkups?
I do my own. This book tells you how to do your own checkup.
Really?
Yes. For $3, you can go to a pharmacy without a prescription, get everything you need. You'll use the same test strips that a doctor uses to determine if you have diabetes, high blood pressure, if you have kidney failure.
And then if you, God forbid, have those, you can show them
It tells you what to do.
what to do to reverse
It's like
it.
a Betty Crocker recipe book.
I've really enjoyed this, Doctor. Listen, here's how you can get these. We'll be right back.
Dr. Joel Wallach's groundbreaking studies over decades of research have revealed numerous facts and truths about your health, which are radically different from what you have been led to believe by the medical community. These findings have been distributed worldwide through the material on this phenomenal CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, with more than 200 million copies in circulation. Recorded during Dr. Wallach's lectures, this CD touches on a wide range of subjects, including aging, heart disease, cholesterol, arthritis, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and pregnancy. In all, Dr. Wallach addresses 25 topics and engages in question and answer sessions with the audience. And his book is a comprehensive expansion of the material on the CD, with over 400 pages of information which can significantly impact your quality and length of life. You'll learn how to identify 90 essential nutrients, many of which are not available in food. Prevent and reverse 412 diseases with vitamins, minerals, and herbs. Reach your genetic potential for a long and happy life. Eliminate a major portion of costly medical expenses. Take responsibility for your health, and much, much more. Dr. Wallach's Dead Doctors Don't Lie 400-page book and multi-million selling CD can both be yours today for a gift of $40. It's not too early or too late to gain the knowledge and tools you must have to rescue and revolutionize your health and that of your family and loved ones. Call or order online today.
fascinating Dr. Wallach. I really do like this doctor. You know, I have seen this work in my life. I really have. I'm not kidding you. How conventional medicine almost ruined my health. And when I took charge, God really took care of my body. Because healing, you know, God heals us through His divine power, but there's certain times that we have to take charge, and God will move in and help us be healthy. So it's healing and health. Get these today. The announcer told you how. Take charge of your health, sweet people. Please do. Live longer, live happier. Be there for your children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We want you to be here for a long time, and so does God. With long life will I satisfy Him and show Him my salvation. And you know, God has given us these wonderful doctors as a gift. Make sure to get the CD and the book. Tomorrow, another wonderful program. Please don't miss it. Thank you for being my wonderful friend, wonderful partner. I love you with all my heart. Bye-bye.
For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. We know God hears our prayers and answers them. Pastor Benny's evangelism and healing ministry takes him around the world, but he has made it a priority to spend time in prayer for you. Send Pastor Benny your prayer requests and let him come into agreement with you. In addition, the ministry staff will pray for you before your request is sent to Israel, where for 30 days the saints in Jerusalem will agree with you. So write today and come into agreement with him for your needs to be met.
Let's begin the year right. Let's begin the year with health. You know, God wants you healthy. I believe in healing, in divine healing, of course, and I go to the world and travel and preach the gospel, and I will continue doing that till the day God takes me home. I also believe in health because the scripture says, I wish above all things you prosper and be in health. Dr. Wallach is back. You know, we've had so many people enjoy you so much. I said, you know what? I'm going to have the doctor back because so many people have ordered your books and your CDs, and they're talking about you. Doc, you've caused quite a stir, and I love it. What is it about you that people like? I mean, is it your personality, your age, the
Probably
way you
not.
talk? What is it?
Probably not my. You have the personality, Pastor.
Oh, I
Benny.
think you do. No. But anyways, I mean, you have caused such a stir, Doc.
Well, I think it's the message. And of course, you know, it's biblical. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
Of course, yeah.
Yes, of course. And so this is a message that's thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. This is a message that goes back to the beginning of time. And there's certain peoples that prospered health-wise. And why did God, it was always fascinating to me, Pastor Benny, why did God pick the Garden of Eden? Of all the places on earth, why did He pick that place to put Adam? And when you evaluate that, when you really look at it, that was not just any place. That was the most fertile place on earth. It was the most fertile place on earth. And why was that? Well, it's because it's surrounded by mountains. And the 4 rivers, the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Pishon, Dishon rivers, are bringing all this silt from the mountains down, was constantly refertilizing that soil. He picked them.
That's amazing. You know, now, Doc, you know, today we see young people dying with cancer. I mean, you know, please understand this, precious partners. You know, I've gone to the world, I've preached the gospel around the world, and I have seen more sickness in the last 40 years of my life than I think any man alive. You know, and I love to see the power of God, but what really shakes me is sometimes I'll see someone who was healed 5 years ago, they're sick again with something else. And is it because they're not eating right? It has to be. Or is it something else?
Well, it's basically tied to what you eat and what you don't eat. Again, why did God pick the Garden of Eden to put Adam? Unfortunately, the nutritional elements that we need to maximize our lifespan, to live to be 120 as God commanded, and man's years shall be 120, that means that's a command. They shall be. That wasn't say, well, if you do right, you'll get there. And so what we have to do is understand that the nutritional minerals that we require as a human being, as a vertebrate, like a hummingbird or a man or an elephant, do not occur in equal and the same amounts over the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like chocolate and chalk ripple ice cream. When you look at the top 20 longevity cultures, interestingly enough, they're very faithful people. These are all people of God who live the longest. And by, you assume either guidance or dumb luck, one or the other, probably a combination of dumb luck and guidance. They listened and they were guided to these places to live. They have everything they need to live to be 120. There's actually a cover article in the May 2013 National Geographic. It's a little girl, and it says, this girl will live to be 120. It just blows your mind because she happened to live in a place that has all the nutrients necessary to live to be 120. Now, her peoples didn't know that. They didn't analyze the soil, but they were guided by God to live there.
Okay, but how, I mean, you know, here we are living in big cities. We're not living in Eden or places like that girl is. How do we stay healthy? You see young people dying with cancer, diabetes, heart disease at young ages. I mean, that's shocking how many young people are suddenly getting these diseases that what it used to be that the older people got years ago.
Exactly.
Why?
Well, because they bet on the wrong horse.
What do you mean they bet on the wrong horse?
They bet on the wrong horse. They went with the medical system instead of God.
Keep talking, please. I want to hear that.
Instead of God. Because if we would listen to God, then we would be doing all the right things. We would be doing all the right things that our body needs. When we went with the medical system, that's when things began to become destroyed. Because the medical system went all with pharmaceuticals. And Pastor Benny, if you look at the PDR, the physician's desk reference, it has 250,000 prescription drugs in it. With the exception of antibiotics, which can kill pneumonia, can kill strep throat, can cure things. With the exception of antibiotics, there's not a single pharmaceutical in the PDR, the physician's desk reference, that cures anything. Doctors are not under any command to cure a disease even when there's cures available. So they choose to treat you. If they treat you for 25 years, they might make $750,000 per person. If they cure you, they make $300.
Yeah, exactly. And there is no money in health.
There's no money in cure. There's no money in health. And so I'm interested in God's stuff. I call it God's stuff. And over the years, since I was 9 years old, and I know that God had to be part of this because a 9-year-old kid doesn't figure this out. And so when I figured it out when I was 9, it had to be a divine appointment. That's the only thing I can think of. And so over these years, I've treated it as such and learned everything I could, and I shared.
I mean, nutrition really works.
Of course.
You know, I am convinced because it happened to me myself. But there's some amazing programs out there like Forks Over Knives and Food Matters. And today you're seeing, you know, this thing proven over and over. That the medicines people take is not really helping them. Like you said, they don't cure anything.
They relieve symptoms, which make people temporarily comfortable. But
and the side effects are so horrible. You know, I was watching a commercial day before yesterday about some new pill, something, and they give you all the side effects that could happen to you if you take it right on that commercial, which of course they have to. And I thought to myself, why take it?
Well, people are
the risk of this and the risk of that. You may end up dying just from the side effects.
Oh, absolutely. That's one of the biggest side effects of these pharmaceuticals is death. Now, here's...
How many people die a year in America from side effects?
Of drugs? If you use drugs alone, 500,000.
In the United States?
Yes.
Every year?
Every year. That's a yearly figure. And the bigger figure is...
From side effects?
Of drugs. Now, when you look at the bigger figure of side effects of treatments and side effects of care and lack of care, from the directly attributed to doctors, not even washing their hands, simple things like that, is 15 million a year in America are killed, injured, and infected each year by doctors, killed, injured in their workplace. They don't even get an OSHA ticket. There's no consequences. So we have to spend more time considering God's direction than doctors' direction. That's why I say they bet on the wrong.
Okay, now listen, let me ask you, why? Well, let me just go back and ask, how do we prevent cancer in children, in young people? or any person, what do we do?
Okay, there's two things we have to do, Pastor Benny. Number one, we have to stop the bad stuff. Number two, we have to do the good stuff. I mean, you got to attack it from both ends. The good stuff, of course, is the 90 essential nutrients. We've known this, gosh, in the animal industry for 100 years. We've eliminated 900 different diseases in animals that still plague people. We've eliminated every birth defect you can name and 10 times that many you can't in animals that still plague people. Because what we did, we didn't have health insurance for animals, so we just had to fix the problems. On the other hand, we've been given a lot of misinformation on how to cook, how to eat, and this is killing us. For instance, Steve Jobs, billionaire, very smart guy, very smart guy. When it came to marketing, when it came to techie stuff.
Absolutely.
He died at 56 years of age. The doctors killed him as sure as they shot him in the head.
Are you sure on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was because of doctors?
Yes.
That he died?
Yes.
Oh, well, how's that?
Okay, well, first of all, he was an unsupplemented vegan. If you want to be a vegan, you can be a very successful vegan, but you have to supplement with the 90 essential nutrients because you can't get it in the food because they don't occur in an equal blanket around the crust of the earth. The only way...
So you're not for vegetarians?
Well,
that people just go
they can be a vegetarian.
veggie?
No, they can be a vegetarian, but they must supplement. It's the vegetarians who do not supplement are in trouble.
Oh, but wait now, Doc. I saw on some of these programs where somebody has cancer or diabetes, and they reversed the disease with a vegetarian diet. Now, you're saying that's not really exactly smart.
Well, it's possible with a little bit of addition here. You ever hear a guy by the name of Jay Cordish?
No.
Okay, he was kind of the original juice man, and he had a terminal bladder cancer 60 years ago, and they told him he only had weeks to live and so forth, so he started juicing. And over the years, he helped literally millions of people reverse their cancers, but he began to put the minerals in the juices to guarantee that there was a level playing field, that everybody got the same nutritional value.
Okay.
Because a carrot grown, say, in Imperial Valley, California, doesn't have the same nutrition in it as in the Garden State, New Jersey. It looks the same, but one might have 13 minerals, and the other might have 60 minerals. And so the only way to level the playing field is a supplement. Now, if you're a supplemented vegetarian, supplemented vegan, you can be very successful. If you don't supplement, it's kind of hit and miss where you live. Some places you can be very successful. Other places you're going to be an abysmal failure. Well, Steve Jobs' problem was twofold. Number one, he got the very best 5-star vegan chef who cooked everything for him in extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil.
Right.
And he got pancreatic cancer from all the free radicals of all that heated oil. Got pancreatic. Then he made a second possible worst mistake. Instead of going to Costa Rica, where the longest lived people live in the Western Hemisphere, and going to the oldest...
In Costa Rica?
Yes, sir.
Why Costa Rica?
Because that's where all the minerals are at.
Really? I never heard that before.
Yes. This is in the Western Hemisphere of the Earth. This is where the oldest people live.
Really?
Yes. Did research for a book we call Immortality. We have the top 20 longevity cultures. Pastor Benny, they have 40 times 100-year-olds we do. They have 100-year-old per 250. We have 100-year-old per 10,000. Just simply because where they live. It's kind of like the Garden of Eden in the Western Hemisphere. So, but you can take that information and bring it to your own home. You don't have to go there. So this is where Steve Jobs made his mistake. He should have gone there instead of Harvard.
Really? Wow. And the poor man died early because
he died at 56.
And yet he was eating right.
Well, he was eating correctly, but again...
But he missed what? The supplements.
He missed the minerals. You see, an organic carrot might only have 3 minerals. You need 60, and a vertebrate needs 60. And so he couldn't get all 60 from what he was eating.
Years ago, I decided to cut all fats out. It almost killed me.
Yes. And you're very,
and I had
God
to get,
loves you.
Huh? Yeah,
God
because honestly, I mean, I just got all the fat out. Just thought maybe that will help me. It didn't help me at all.
It could give you Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease is a physician-caused disease. Yes, sir.
Wait, Doc.
Yes.
Alzheimer's is caused by doctors, not by diet?
No, it's physicians. Who told Americans to get on a cholesterol-restricted diet? Physicians. Who told doctors to take statin drugs to lower your cholesterol? Physicians. Well, I wrote a paper on that in 1971 and said, uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem. This is not correct. You're going to get all kinds of problems here. Well, what happened was people got Alzheimer's disease. They got low T, erectile dysfunction, because testosterone is a steroid hormone, 95% by weight cholesterol. So you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, you take cholesterol-lowering drugs. Uh-oh, Houston, we have a problem here. Then they come up with Viagra and all this stuff, right? But essentially, all you had to do is eat 6 eggs a day. And
they almost killed you on eggs. They said it's not good for you. Raises your cholesterol. The yellow is bad. Blah, 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 all that.
Pastor Benny, doctors only live to be 56 according to their own survey. Why would we listen to them? They say don't use salt. They live to be 56. God says use salt.
You're funny, dog. I'm telling you.
God says use salt, and God is forever. I'm going with God.
God said use salt, but
Yes.
salt is still bad for your body, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, a lot of it is.
No, it's not. No, it's not, sir.
Doc, I've
It's an
never had
essential
anyone
nutrient.
like you, but salt raises your blood.
No, sir, it doesn't.
What do you mean it doesn't?
It doesn't. That's a lie. That's why I say they bet on the wrong horse. The people bet on the wrong horse.
Are you telling me that salt does not raise your blood pressure?
That is correct, sir. It does not raise blood pressure.
Really?
Yes, sir.
What raises your blood pressure then?
It's actually a mineral deficiency or kidney failure, one or the other. 95% of the time it's a mineral deficiency, 5% of the time
How
it's
come
kidney
nobody says things that you say?
failure. Well,
I mean,
what makes me different?
I'm
That's a
hearing
fair
new
question.
stuff from you. You've helped millions of people.
Yes, sir.
You've helped that gentleman with his knees. What was his name again? The mayor of Atlanta.
Oh, Andy Young.
And Andrew Young.
Civil rights movement, yeah.
You
Rebuilt
fixed
his knees.
You rebuilt his knees. He didn't have to have an
No,
operation.
sir. He canceled his double knee surgery. He was already scheduled. He canceled it. That was 21 years ago.
And Creflo Dollar's daughter.
Got rid of her asthma.
You helped her with her asthma,
Yes.
and now I guess she's cured.
Asthma-free, yes, sir.
She's asthma free.
Yes.
I mean, I heard about this wonderful doctor from people. I said, because I never heard of Dr. Wallach. And I had him here a few weeks ago, and dear goodness, the phones began ringing here wild.
I have
Go
another
ahead,
one.
talk
I
to
have
me.
another one for you. You ever
Okay.
heard of kidney failure? You need dialysis.
Listen, I know a young man in his 20s. Both of his kidneys stopped recently. I think he's doing better now. And it was a shock to me that why would a 20-something-year-old lose his kidneys?
Oh, eating fried foods, not supplementing properly. So I have a wonderful story for you. This is a God story.
Please tell me.
There's a man by the name of Tug. That's his nickname, is Tug, T-U-G, like a tugboat.
Right.
He's 87 years old, and since he was 14, he hadn't urinated. He's been on dialysis for like 73 years.
Wow.
And we got him on our program for kidney failure. In 2 weeks' time, he's urinating. In 2 more weeks' time, he's totally off of dialysis. He's been on dialysis 6 days a week for 73 years. And in less than a month, he's off of dialysis.
How did you do that?
Well, this is a God thing, right?
I know, but how did God use you?
Well, we gave him the 90 essential nutrients. We actually have what we call the secret sauce for getting blood flow through little blocked arteries. Well, when you have kidney failure, there's nothing wrong with your kidney. That seems like an oxymoron or a paradox.
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with your
Then
kidneys. when you have
why
kidney
did it
failure.
fail?
Well, remember, I'm a pathologist, and so surgeons would bring me kidneys they'd take out of somebody with kidney failure, and I'd look at them and say, these are normal. What'd you take them out? They say, he's got kidney failure. Well, it turns out there's nothing wrong with your kidney when you have kidney failure. What happens is the little microscopic arteries that carry the dirty blood into the filtering units are plugged. So your kidney function goes down, not because there's anything wrong with the kidney, it's just that dirty blood is not being delivered.
Wow.
So we get the circulation going in the kidney.
I have a family member who they say may have to have a kidney transplant.
Probably not.
What do you mean probably not?
Well, give me 90 days, and we'll see.
I'll call, and you can help him?
Yes.
He's a young man.
We
He's
do this
related to me,
thousands- We do this thousands of times a year.
That you can prevent someone from having.
Kidney transplant. We get them off of dialysis, absolutely. Because there's nothing wrong with the kidney most of the time.
Doc, put your hands on this Bible.
Yes, sir.
You
I'll put
promise
both
that you can. Wait a minute. I've never done this on This Is Your Day. You're putting your hands on the Word of
Both
God.
hands.
And you're telling me that you can help this young man that I know
Yes, sir.
in my family, where he doesn't have to lose his kidneys, or kidney right now, one kidney, with what you're going to do for him.
He has one good kidney, one bad kidney?
I think so.
Okay, that's easy.
That's
'Cause this
easy.
is the God stuff, right?
Okay, now you put your hand
Both
on the Word
hands,
of
not
God,
one hand, sir.
and you vow before God Almighty that you're
Absolutely.
telling the truth.
Absolutely.
I believe you.
Absolutely.
Wow. So what would you tell somebody who's watching? Now, how would they find you, and how would you help them?
Well, I would have them come through the website of your program here.
Okay.
And they can contact me through you.
Okay.
Okay, because you and I are both instruments of God, and so they'll be able to find you and find this program through you. And we deal with every disease.
I mean, I even had Pat Boone call me a few days ago.
Yeah.
He said, if Dr. Wallach helped this, Andrew Young with his knees, I need his help. And I think you did talk to him, I hope.
Not
a
yet.
few days ago. Okay, well, you will, though.
Okay.
But the thing that's amazing is you've helped people like that, and now you're saying if they go on our website, they can find you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You've helped thousands.
Thousands. And things like knees, millions.
Oh, well,
Kidney
stop,
failure,
Doc.
millions. Yes, sir.
Millions of people you've helped
50 countries, Pastor Benny. 50
with
countries.
knees. So my mother had a knee replacement surgery. Are you telling me that you could have helped my mother?
Yes, sir. It
Then
was
where were you? Where were you 3 years ago? My poor mom. It took her forever to walk and get her knees back. Her legs where she can walk and all that.
Well, we can help her because what happens is when you get a knee replacement or a hip replacement, the disease continues to deteriorate the bones. And after a while, that artificial joint they put in there begins to wallow around in there and cause more pain. They say, well, we got to redo it now. They say these things will
Yeah,
last.
it's actually happening now to her.
Well, we can fix that so that bone will
But
grab that.
she's 83
Doesn't matter.
years old.
Just like Tug, he's 87 years old, and he was on dialysis for 73 years. And in a month's time, we got
Doc,
him off
are you
dialysis.
for real?
Well,
I know you're real because you're here, but I mean, look. I've heard so many people who've been helped by this man. And that's why I actually have him here. Why would I have a doctor here if he's not? He hasn't helped people, and you have.
God has never failed me.
You know what? I believe you.
God has never failed me.
Now, tomorrow we're going to talk about diabetes
Okay.
and heart disease that's striking people left and right.
Easy stuff.
Easy stuff, you
Yes,
say.
sir. We know how to get rid of and prevent diabetes 70 years ago. This is very easy.
Doc, I am 61, okay?
A mere child.
Thank you. I appreciate that very, very much. Give me a 5, Doc. What must I do, just before we say bye, what must I do to prevent myself from getting some heart problem? Just eat right or what?
No, sir. Well, eating right is part of it. That stops the ongoing damage. But then you have to supplement with the 90 essential nutrients. Take the secret sauce for your heart, your arteries.
Now, what is that secret sauce?
Well, it's the same thing that gets the blood flowing through the little blocked arteries in the kidneys.
Can you talk about that tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Now, it's all in your book, too, and so on. But,
Yes, sir, absolutely.
But one more time, what is it?
Well, it's a series of minerals that are required to keep the heart going, to prevent it. See, there's all kinds of heart attacks, and none of them have anything to do with cholesterol. Cholesterol is a total lie. It's the biggest fraud ever perpetuated against the people of.
Really, even high cholesterol?
High cholesterol just means you're sexy, because you get to make more sex hormones.
Funny. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't expect that kind of answer.
Oh, as God is my witness.
Okay, I believe you. But I mean, when they have high cholesterol.
Did Jesus ever say, don't eat eggs?
No.
Okay. Well, there you go.
But I mean.
I'm going with Jesus.
Back to. Hope I can finish this program. Back to cholesterol. High cholesterol means nothing?
Means nothing. See, in fact, February 2012, the FDA sent an email to every doctor in America that said, stop telling people to take cholesterol-lowering drugs because it increases your risk of Alzheimer's disease by 100%, type 2 diabetes by 50%.
Yeah, and now they there's that new medicine that they want people to take that reduces cholesterol and all the stuff. And
Stay
you
away
said,
from it.
Yeah.
Do not take it. Fire your doctor. Bet on God, don't bet on the doctor.
Well, listen, I think we're all finding out for ourselves that we need to take charge of our own health because doctors disagree with each other so much, they confuse you so much, and when they tell you what drug to take, they tell you these side effects that can kill you.
Pastor Benny, they never take their own drugs.
But we must say, doctors have helped a lot of good people. There's a lot of wonderful doctors out there that have helped a lot of good people.
That's true. But
what?
Well, I think the way to make doctors all good is we should test them every time they go into the hospital for, to start their work day. They should have a urine test and a breathalyzer test just like they do for athletes that win gold medals. Every day when they go in, and after lunch they should do it.
Well, I would say they've helped a lot of people because look at the good surgeries they've done, the surgeons and so on. Wonderful people out there. But I agree in many cases, we haven't been helped Because we have not taken charge of our own health and life. And I think it's time to say, okay, it's my body, it's my life, it's my future. I want to take care of it myself and make sure I eat right and know what to do with it.
But that's not enough.
Well, that's why you're here, to also help us with the, what else can we do with, when you say it's not enough. Okay, now, how will your book help people? Now, your book and CD. Now, your CD, you said millions have been helped.
200 million people have listened to that CD.
What's on it?
That teaches you, and there's tracks on there. You can pick, you don't have to listen to the whole thing. You just go to diabetes, you go to arthritis, you go to Alzheimer's disease. It tells you what to do for each of those diseases. Then if you're interested, you can go back and listen to the beginning. The book, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, covers over 400 diseases in the appendix, alphabetical order.
So this will show you what? The book will show you what?
What to do for just about any disease you can think of in the appendix.
How to fix it.
Yes, sir. How to prevent it, how to fix it.
So they don't have to talk to you. They can just read this.
They could read that. They don't have to talk to me.
Now, your products are also quite popular. So
yes, sir.
If you want to know more about this wonderful Dr. Wallach, then go on our website and there's more information for you about the doctor and how you can get hold of him and a whole lot more. But listen, just before we say bye, really, how will this help? How will the book help people? Like what? Well, someone who's dying with cancer.
Well, it's a type of revelation, Pastor Benny, because what it does is it teaches people that they really have the answers at their fingertips. Again, they bet on the wrong horse when they went to a doctor. A doctor may have done a wonderful job in taking the cancer out. Then he sends you home and he doesn't tell you to change everything that got you to have the cancer. You got to change everything. You have to change your lifestyle.
But now, Doc, someone who's been told they have stage 4 cancer and a month to live, can you help them?
Most of the time, not every time, but most of the time we can help them. Certainly we can give everybody a better quality of life. And let's say they say you got 6 months to live. What if they live 2 years? What if they live 5 years? And certainly the better quality of life.
My father-in-law, dear Roy Harden, passed away in July. He was the picture of health in March, and he was gone by July. Could you have helped him had we discovered he had cancer in March?
Yes, sir. Because if he died that fast when they discovered it in March, the treatment killed him. The treatment killed him.
Wow.
And so it's a matter of saying, okay, if I only have a month to live, I'd rather spend my time in my bed with my dog on my lap and hugging my grandchildren than being in the hospital, being treated with an experimental drug and dying by myself.
He's in glory now, so he's in a much better place. But listen, let's help precious saints to live longer so they can do more for the Lord.
Bless you.
Get this, absolutely. Well, that's why we're talking today, and that's why you're here, Doc, and I'm glad you came back. God bless you. Help us in 2014 to live healthy.
That's our goal.
Amen. Call the number on the screen and get this book and CD for a gift of $40. Invest in your health. Listen, this doctor is for real, okay? Because the people that he has mentioned are not a fabrication of his mind. He really has helped them. And he's quite well known. He's quite famous. How long have you been doing? How long have you been in this?
35 years, sir.
Okay. Well, that's proof right there. Tomorrow, a whole lot more. And wow, God bless you, Doc.
Well,
thanks for being with me.
God bless you.
I'll see you again, sweet saints, tomorrow.
And proclaiming Jesus as Savior and Healer.
Dr. Wallach is back, and I'm telling you, he is something else. I had him lay his hands on my Bible yesterday and vow that everything he says is truth, and you did. You want to do it
yes,
again?
Sir, both hands, not one, both
This
hands.
is how I'm going to start the program, that you're absolutely going to tell me the truth and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
Help you God. You know, we're talking about health, nutrition, and how many people he's helped. Andrew Young, the mayor, former mayor.
And also, he was the ambassador to the United Nations under Jimmy Carter.
Right, and you helped him with his knees where he didn't lose.
He canceled his double knee replacement surgery.
Creflo Dollar, his daughter is now
asthma-free.
She's free from asthma.
For 10 years, yeah.
Because of you.
Yes, sir.
And other people you've helped.
Actually, it's God's
Of course, it's the Lord, but he used you. You're his instrument. And through how? What did you do to these people? How did you help Andrew Young, and how did you help Creflo's daughter and all the people you're helping?
Well, both arthritis, Pastor Benny, and asthma are both nutritional deficiency diseases. Doctors will tell you that arthritis is genetic, it's in your family, and if they can't find anybody in your family who has it, doesn't your dog have arthritis? They're always looking for some way to, associate with your family. But arthritis, 95% is due to just simple mineral deficiencies. That's osteopenia, osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, degenerative arthritis, bone-to-bone arthritis, all mineral deficiencies. Rheumatoid arthritis is a simple infection with a bug called mycoplasma. I can cure that disease, rheumatoid arthritis, in 2 weeks with an antibiotic called minocycline. I'll kill that bug, then it'll take several months, maybe 2 months, to rebuild all the damage the
How
bug
come
did.
other doctors don't say what you're saying?
Because they'll only make $300 if they cure you. If they treat you, they make $750,000 over 25 years. Why would they want to make $300 when they can make $750,000? Because there's no law requiring them to cure you when there's a cure available.
So they give you medication.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, that's the truth. Now, as you say, individually they may be wonderful people, but the system captures them. If they don't do what the system says to do, they kick them out and say, if I've gone to school all these years, why would I go against the system? And so that's part of the problem. And so people have to actually take some control here of their own destiny, their health, and their faith.
And that's, I think, what we need to decide in 2014, this year, to take charge of our own health.
Yes, sir.
And do it right.
Yes, and that'll make the difference. And that's what Andrew Young did. He canceled a double knee replacement surgery. He canceled it. I mean,
But he gave you a chance to...
Yeah, he gave me 90 days. He said, I'll do your thing for 90 days.
And what did you do? How did you help him?
Well, I gave him the basic 90 essential nutrients, which we all need. You can't guarantee you're going to get it from your food, no matter how people say, I eat well, but that's not enough.
So you gave him 90
essential nutrients, 60
Okay.
minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 essential amino acids, 3 essential fatty acids. And then I gave him what we call the secret sauce that's designed to support and promote repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, all the stuff that makes up the joints of your knees and your hip and your shoulder and the disc between your vertebrae. And even in July, I thought this was fascinating, even in July of 2002, Harvard Medical School came out, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, and said joint replacement is useless, is worthless.
Wow. Really? They actually said that?
Oh, yes, sir. And 4 years later, in the Journal of the American Medical Association, they came out and said, don't waste your time doing back surgery for low back pain and sciatica. That was Harvard again, the Journal of the American Medical Association.
Why do they keep changing their minds?
Well, because they did what's called a meta-study. They looked at 300,000 people from all over the earth that had had joint replacements and back surgeries. And in every case, over a long time, it never worked.
Okay, now you also talked about dementia. That
Yes, sir.
One more time, 65% of...
Well, first of all, you have to understand...
Because he had said that before we began taping the program.
Yes, well, first of all, people have to understand, Pastor Benny, that Alzheimer's is a physician-caused disease. Now, there's 4 different dementias. Vascular dementia.
Doc, repeat that, really.
Alzheimer's disease is a physician-caused disease.
Because?
Okay, well, Alzheimer's disease is a going away of the white matter of the brain, the myelin. The naked nerve fibers all tangle up and they short circuit and give you what's called Alzheimer's disease. Well, this myelin is 100% cholesterol. So when you go on a cholesterol-restricted diet, and then you make it worse by taking a cholesterol-lowering drug, it's kind of like saying, stay out of the sun, do not eat any egg yolks, do not take any vitamins and minerals, put sunblocker on, wear big brim hats and gloves and long sleeve shirts in the moonlight so you don't get skin cancer. You're not going to give it. Right now, you know the most terrible disease raging in young people in the industrialized world, including America, is rickets. It's a vitamin D3 deficiency. We learned that 200 years ago. Suddenly now it's coming back in America and Europe because everybody's following the doctor's advice of staying out of the sun. Don't take vitamins.
Yeah, because they're afraid to get, skin cancer.
Yeah. Well, if you do everything right, you won't.
Like what? Take
right?
all
your nutrients. You have to supplement with all 90.
So you can lay in the sun all you want?
Well, I wouldn't say all you want. You don't want to get burnt.
Oh, of course. But I mean, still, you can lay in the sun without the fear.
Yes, of cancer.
Of getting cancer if you do what?
Okay, supplement probably. For instance, in Australia, which has the highest rate of skin cancer because they have no ozone layer there.
Right.
There's a big hole. They have the highest rate of skin cancer. By taking one mineral, you can reduce your risk of skin cancer by 60% just by taking one mineral.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But doctors don't pay attention to that because they're more interested in the surgery and the chemotherapy and the radiation, that kind of stuff.
And the Alzheimer's?
Well, Alzheimer's disease is one of 4 dementias.
Okay.
The most common one is called vascular dementia, which is where you get the blood obstructed to your brain. Your arteries get clogged in your brain, just like the same thing that clogs your arteries in your heart and your kidneys. Eating free radicals, fried foods, processed meats, oils, meat cooked too well done, that kind of stuff.
I actually saw this on a program this morning where it said fried foods actually don't, they don't help you with that. That they actually can cause that.
That's right, clogs your arteries. It's not cholesterol, it's fried foods.
No, with the dementia, yeah.
That's right. And then you have what's called Korsakoff syndrome, which looks like Alzheimer's disease, but it was actually caused by a deficiency of a single vitamin. It was discovered by a Japanese naval surgeon in the late 1700s. You take this one vitamin, it goes away. And I've cured people who were designated as having Alzheimer's disease, terminal Alzheimer's disease, for 8 years, Pastor Benny.
My goodness.
And in 1 week's time, they get dressed, they walk out perfectly normal after just 1 week of being on these supplements because they had Korsakoff
1
syndrome.
week?
1 week, yes, sir. And these are people who are unconscious, totally unresponsive, and they had to be fed through the G-tube these vitamins. In 1 week, they get dressed, get up, and walk out perfectly normal. And then there's Wernicke-Korsakoff's, which is MS, multiple sclerosis, and this vitamin deficiency. And then there's Alzheimer's disease, which is a cholesterol deficiency, which is a physician-caused disease.
But you said 65% can be reversed.
Well,
You said that earlier.
Vascular dementia, Korsakoff syndrome, Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, very rapidly reversed. Alzheimer's disease takes longer, might take 6 months to a year, depending on how much damage is in there. In the earliest of stages, it can happen fairly quickly. And of course,
But you can reverse it, though.
It has been reversed, yes. I mean, not 100% of the time.
Yeah, of course. But I mean,
it's
some of it
reversible.
anyway.
Yes, yes, yes.
And how do you do that? With these minerals and
You have
nutrients?
you have to stop the ongoing damage, which means you have to start eating 6 to 10 eggs a day, poached with soft yolks. You have to stay away from all the things that cause free radical
And that
damage.
does not harm you to eat that many eggs.
There was actually a study, not a study, I shouldn't say that. There was actually a case report reported out of Harvard Medical School. It was the New England Journal of Medicine. Came out. I use this in my lecture a lot of times. The doctor came out and he had to rerun this guy's cholesterol. It was perfectly normal. And he says, well, what are you're 75, 80 years old. What do you attribute every one of your numbers in your blood test is normal. What do you attribute that to? He said, I eat 25 eggs a day. So what? I eat 25 eggs a day. I've been eating 25 eggs a day for 30 years. This is published in the New England Journal of Medicine. This guy eats 25. So I always tell my patients, Pastor Benny, I want you to eat 10 to 12 eggs a day. You can eat 25 if you want to, but don't eat any less than 10 to 12.
Really?
Yes.
And that will help them?
It'll help you get rid of Alzheimer's disease, help you prevent getting Alzheimer's disease.
I've never heard that. That's amazing. Heart disease. Let's talk about that.
There's not
Prevention.
Pastor Benny, there's not a single heart disease that's caused by elevated blood cholesterol or too much bad cholesterol.
You said that yesterday. That was quite powerful.
That's correct. Well, let's see. The most common heart disease is congestive heart failure, caused by deficiency of a single vitamin. There's a pastor in Southside Chicago. He was on heart transplant list for 3 years. 1 week's time on this program, his doctors, his cardiologist declared him cured and took him off of 27 prescription
And
drugs.
well, wait, and you put him on your program?
Yes, sir.
For a week?
For a week.
And you fixed him up?
Yes, sir. And it was his doctors that took him
Yeah, I
off of all his
understand
medication,
that.
not me.
His own doctor said you're
cured.
You're fine now.
That's right.
What did you? How did
Gave
you
him
help
the 90
him?
essential nutrients, plus I gave him extra that one vitamin that causes congestive heart. There's a vitamin deficiency that causes congestive heart failure.
What is that? Can you tell me?
Yes, sir, I will, because you asked me, because you're an agent of God.
Thank you, sir. Please tell me.
Thiamine, vitamin B1, deficiency causes congestive heart failure.
Really?
It's that simple.
Why don't they tell us that?
Well, because the doctor won't make any money. He'll make $30 for an office call if he tells you that. But if he puts you on the heart transplant list, Pastor Benny, he makes $250,000.
Dear God, I had a problem one time with my heart where it was skipping, and this doctor wanted to operate and electrocute my heart and scare the lights out of me. I said, no, man, I'm out of here, and I left.
And that's why you're still alive. Praise God.
Because I went to a doctor like you, and I said, hey, doc, they want to do all this stuff, and I don't want it. And the side effects with the meds they were going to put me on, I said, would be the worst. He put me on some nutrients and vitamins and supplements and fixed me up.
Well, did the doctor diagnose you with atrial fibrillation? Is that
Yeah, he did.
Well, it's not a heart problem.
Well, he told me it was, but
No,
anyway.
it's not true.
He said if it wasn't one side of the heart, I would actually drop dead.
No, sir.
You know, some of them are not really very positive. They just tell you, well, you got this.
Well, he's a used car salesman.
You're going to die if this happens. You're going to die if this happens. Then you got to take these medications, and here's all the side effects that go along. And I said, well, what if, you know, the side effects? Well, we just don't know. You have to. I said, forget it.
Well, atrial fibrillation is actually a back problem. Squeezing nerves that control your
Now,
heart.
let's stop. Dog.
Yes, sir.
A back problem.
Yes, sir.
After all those years, somebody tells me that.
I
Okay.
bet you had a back problem, too.
I did. I did because
well, you and I never
was
talked
in
about
a
this.
I
But
was
know
in
you
a
had
plane crash. I was in
there
a
you go.
plane crash back in '83. Suzanne and I were in a Cessna, single engine. It crashed, and when I came out of the plane, my lower back just, if you look on the X-ray, it looks like a little curve. And they told me that every so often I have to like massage it or whatever.
And how much time later did you get the atrial fibrillation?
Not long after that.
Well, there you go. See, it's a back problem that causes that.
Well, how do you fix it? Well, when mine
Take
is
the
gone
nutrients-
though.
Yeah, you take the nutrients, repair the back, and it goes away.
And I did both.
Yeah, perfect.
Because but I was not connecting the back with it.
But you have to, because that's what causes it.
I'm glad I have you on the program. So a heart disease.
Okay, now there's 4 heart diseases. Congestive heart failure is the #1 cause of death in adults in America. It's
Okay.
a deficiency of a single vitamin, thiamine, vitamin B1. And then there's cardiomyopathy heart disease, causes sudden heart death. You're just walking along, drop dead. You see this in young athletes all the time.
Yes.
Okay, a track star, a basketball player.
What causes that?
That's a deficiency of a single mineral. I actually did 1,700 autopsies on kids under the age of 10 that actually died of that disease, cardiomyopathy heart disease.
Because of one mineral?
A deficiency of a single mineral, yes, sir. And
I mean, I could ask you what it is, but I won't. Go ahead. Go ahead, because I want to keep
so if we give
talking.
if we give all 90 essential nutrients to all our kids, and we actually have a sports drink with 100 nutrients, and including that mineral, we will never have another young athlete drop dead from a sudden heart death.
And it's all in your book, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then the next one is actually called arteriosclerosis, where you get clogging of the arteries. That's not caused by cholesterol. It's caused by eating fried foods and processed meats and oils and that kind of stuff.
So fried foods and all that really are bad for
Yes,
you,
sir.
as they
Very
say.
bad.
Okay.
And then you get an omega-3 essential fatty acid deficiency. I actually sued the FDA over this and when it prevailed in federal court to be able to
You
say
sued
this.
them?
8 times, and I won.
Really? Wow.
And the one that actually caused, like when you get a coronary thrombosis, you get a blood clot in the coronary artery, that's caused by a deficiency of omega-3s. That's not genetic. It's caused by deficiency.
What's the best source of omega-3?
Well, if you eat salmon, oily fish.
But
is
a whole
good.
lot of salmon, I bet.
No, not really, not that much. You only need 1 gram a day, 1,000 milligrams a day.
You told me on the program yesterday that eating healthy is not enough
That's not enough, sir.
because you have to have the supplements.
That's correct.
Why?
Well, you need, see, there's no insurance policy that will actually prevent or cure disease. The only insurance policy you have is to take the 90 essential nutrients in optimal amounts because you can't guarantee you're going to get it from the food, no matter how well you eat. That's why billionaires, their average lifespan is only 66.
Really?
Yes.
They all die young.
That's right, because they eat well. They have the very most expensive doctors who say, now, don't you take vitamins and minerals. That'll screw up our medicine.
My dear mother has diabetes, and I nearly had an argument with her doctor a few days back because he will not let her take some vitamins because he says
Fire the doctor.
it goes against the medicines and it can harm her, blah, 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 all this stuff. You're telling me to just fire the guy.
Fire the doctor. Yes, sir.
I'm glad you're raw like that. You're really honest and blunt,
fire
right to the
doctor.
point. Okay.
Fire the doctor, and basically, the phone book is full of hungry doctors, and you say, look, my mother is 80-something years old. She's got diabetes, and I've just fired a doctor who says he won't let me give her vitamins and minerals. You will let me give her vitamins and minerals? No, you're fired. You're fired. You're fired. Yes, I encourage you to give her vitamins. Okay, I want you to treat my mother. And so you have to go through. Isn't it funny, Pastor Benny? People will get 3 bids and 3 quotes when they're putting a roof on their house. Whatever their doctor says, they keep doing over and over and over, and they get sicker and sicker.
Well, because they have authority in their eyes. Doctors have authority because of the title, doctor, whatever. Now,
Dr. Death.
not all of them, though. Doc, how about diabetes? It can be
Diabetes.
reversed,
Yes, sir.
even in an old person, like my mom.
I don't care if you're 170 years old. If your heart is still pumping, type 2 diabetes is reversible. It's a
And
simple
hers
deficiency.
is type 2, so
Easy.
how do you reverse it?
Well, again, she gets the 90 essential nutrients, and she gets the secret sauce, which are 2 minerals that have been proven.
Now, he's not going to tell us what the secret sauce is, I suppose, but it's fine.
Well, the government won't let me tell you that.
Okay.
So I have to say, this will support and promote healthy metabolism of carbohydrates.
At the end of the program, we will tell you how you can get his stuff. Okay, go ahead.
And so you take the secret sauce with the 90 essential nutrients, and it all goes away. This was 1957. We knew this in animals. We knew it for many years before that, but it was proven. And then the University of Vancouver up in Canada repeated it in humans and said, yeah, it's true. This is back in the 60s. Now, why don't doctors do that? Again, because why would they tell you to take these nutrients, which are God's tools, God's stuff, I call it, why would they tell you to do that? And they'd make $30, $60, $80, $100 for office calls when they can treat you for 25 years for diabetes, and then you go blind and you get your feet cut off and have heart disease and all this kind of stuff as complications of the disease. And so they've created a customer for life kind of thing.
Have they really found the cure for cancer in this world?
Yes, sir.
They have?
Yes, sir.
And why don't they talk about it?
Well, again,
because there's no money in it. Okay.
That's right. There's no money in it.
And there are more people dying with cancer today
yes, sir.
than died even 2 and 3 years ago.
That's correct.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Is that true?
That's
yeah?
correct. Well, it used to be, when you and I were boys, it was like 1 out of 10 got cancer. Today, it's 1 out of 2. That's actual government statistics.
Wow. And because of what?
Well, to me, one of the most interesting things was it was a big study that came out of the University of South Carolina in 1998. And they looked at a large group of women. It was part of the nurses' health study, 90,000 nurses over 20 years, and they had one little piece, how the women cooked. They said women who cooked their meat, like roast beef, if they cooked it very well done, which doctors encourage you to do so you don't get salmonella and E. coli and stuff like this, you cook your meat very well done. Well, women who cooked their meat very well done increased their risk of breast cancer by 462%. Pastor Benny, I don't even know what that means, because how much more is there than 100%? You know? But if you cook your meat medium rare, you reduce your risk of breast cancer by 462%. But if you cook your meat very well done, you increase your risk of breast cancer.
You told me that the last time, yeah.
Yes, sir. And so that's very fascinating.
And I thought it was the opposite, that if you eat rare meat, it actually is not as good for you. But anyways.
Well, it is. It's very good for you because it doesn't kill you.
Learning new things from you, Doc. I like it.
Well, again, you have to go back and you just look at the time when Jesus was alive. And they were very simple people who believed in God. And they were the ones who were rewarded. The ones who complicate things and give the responsibility to somebody else, that's why I always say they bet on the wrong horse. They bet on doctors.
Hey, Doc, listen, look at this camera
Yes,
and tell somebody who's sick, what must they do in 2014 to reverse their disease?
Well, they need to start getting bids when a doctor tells you to do something. Go to 14 different doctors and ask them what they would do, how much they're going to charge, and all that kind of stuff, especially if you've lost your insurance, right? Then, what you want to do is take all 90 essential nutrients, so you're giving your body all the raw materials it needs to maintain itself. Stay away from all the terrible things, fried foods, processed meats, deli slices, sandwich meats. Stay away from oils, margarines, mayonnaise, salad dressings, cooking oils. If you eat canned fish, it's fine, but eat them packed in water, mustard, tomato sauce, not oil. Stay away from gluten, wheat, barley, rye, and oats. Stay away from that stuff. It's all inflammatory. It clogs your arteries, it causes cancer. And then...
The gluten.
Yes, sir.
It actually can cause cancer.
Directly and indirectly.
And clog the arteries.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And contribute to Alzheimer's, and contribute to diabetes, many others.
Keep talking to them, Doc. They're listening to you.
It contributes to birth defects. We can eliminate every birth defect in America. We can make America a birth defect-free country in 9 months. If everybody takes the 90 essential nutrients and stays away from gluten, we can eliminate every birth defect. It's that simple. There's not a single genetically transmitted birth defect.
And it comes from those nutrients.
It comes from lack of nutrients. The embryo requires all
No,
these
no,
nutrients.
I mean, you can fix it all with nutrients.
They're preventable. See, we've done it in the animal industry. And doctors say, well, that's in animals. In humans, it's genetic. What nonsense. What absolute
You
nonsense.
don't believe that?
Well, it's not that I don't believe it.
That it's not genetic, because often they'll say, well, it's because whatever, your daddy had it, so you're going to have it.
Well, Pastor Benny, it's more than a belief, because I've actually, in one project for the National Institutes of Health, it was called the Center for the Biology of Natural Systems back in the 60s, I did 20,000 autopsies, 10 million chemistries. The book, it's 1,200 pages. It's in the Smithsonian Institute as a national treasure.
Oh.
Okay? And so this is not a belief based on just belief. This is based on facts. This is based on hard facts. I don't think there's another pathologist who's done, in all my projects, it's close to 30,000 autopsies. Truly, 80% of them are over 454 species of animals from all over the world, but that gives me an insight. And the other, maybe 13,000, are from humans.
You've helped how many people?
Oh, millions.
When you say millions, how many?
Oof, it'd be hard to count because a lot of them don't report to me. They don't tell me. And so, and a lot of them would be somebody who would read the book and follow the instructions in the book, follow the recipe in the book, and they heal themselves.
And you hear from them?
Well, maybe sometimes they'll send me. I had to carry out a box today.
Well, didn't you have like a little challenge from somebody said, if you don't do, if this doesn't work, yes, I'm going to sue you or something?
Oh, it was worse than that. He said he would destroy me.
Destroy you, yeah.
Yes. This guy owns the third largest medical laboratory in America. His name is Jerry Murphy. He allows me to use his name. He had terrible diabetes. And so we're talking about diabetes. He had terrible diabetes. And here's a guy who's connected with the top endocrinologists, the top doctors. He's got his fingers on the pulse of the cutting edge of research when it comes to new drugs coming along for diabetes. And he was failing. He was already getting tingling in his feet. He was going to have his legs amputated.
And he told you what?
He said, well, we met in a dark back room of a mom and pop restaurant, kind of like at 5 in the morning, so nobody could see us, right? And he says, I said, why are we in the dark room? I thought, was he going to kill me? I mean, why are we in a dark room? He says, well, because I don't want anybody to see us together. I don't want me to give you any credibility. I said, well, that's fine. Well, he says, well, I'm going to give you 90 days because our mutual friend here, Rich, says that you can get rid of my diabetes in 90 days. I said, I probably can. He said, I'll tell you what, I'll make you a wager, Wallach. I said, okay, I'm up for wagers. He says, if you can do it, we'll be best friends. We'll do some stuff together. We'll help a lot of people. Fair enough. I said, what's the other part of the wager? He says, I will destroy you if you fail. He says,
and you helped him.
I said, you're on, Jerry. And he freaked out. He says, no, you better be sure because I'm keeping my word. I will destroy you, Wallach, if you don't perform. In 3 months' time, all his numbers were normal for the first time in his life.
Wow.
And now we're best friends, and he has a series of clinics called, well, I won't tell you on the air, but he has a series of clinics which only use our programs.
That is amazing. You've been in this
True
for 30-something years.
35 years, yes, sir.
And he's 74 years young and still going strong. And his book, listen, of course, he's back because you sweet people so enjoyed this doctor when he was with me a few weeks ago. And if you want to know more about this doctor, now we will tell you more about these, you can go to our website. There's a whole lot more on our website that I'm sure will help you. Okay, Doc, what's in this book?
Well, first of all...
Dead doctors don't lie.
That's right. And of course, their average lifespan is 56, according to their own survey.
One more time, why did you call it that? Dead doctors don't lie.
Because their average lifespan is 56.
Okay.
According to their own survey, which came out in 1999. And so I said, well, why would anybody believe anything that somebody had to say when it comes to health and longevity whose average lifespan is only 56, according to their own survey? It didn't make sense to me. But in that book, it goes over kind of a little bit of a history of the medical profession and shows you where they've been tripped up by some of their own stuff. And then in the appendix, it shows you how to prevent and get rid of 400 and plus diseases.
That's amazing. And this CD?
It's kind of a short version of the book.
Is this a DVD or a CD?
CD.
It's a CD, and you said millions have actually heard this.
Well, more than that, because we've sold 200 million of that CD there. There's been that many people. They figure that each CD is listened to by 10 people.
And you sold 200 million of this one.
It's in 12 languages.
Well, listen, you can get both today for a gift of $40 to the ministry. Help me take the gospel around the world, and this year is going to be fabulous. Divine favor is yours this year, and make sure to call. And you can go on our website for more info on the doctor and other products that you have. And Doc, thanks for coming. This is really amazing. Would you do one thing for me? We have just a few seconds. Would you stretch your hands and pray? You're a Christian man.
Yes, sir.
Pray that God will bring health to his people.
Oh, Lord, we ask in your Son's name, your precious Son's name, Jesus, please, please get this message to every one of your believers and people who maybe are on the fence and they don't know whether to believe you or not. They need help right now. because they bet on the wrong horse. They've been failed. And so we know that the best healer, the best doctor ever is Jesus. And we just love your son, and we want to thank you for getting the message out to your people. Thank you so much. Amen.
Amen. Divine healing and divine health. I love it. Another great program tomorrow with another lady doctor. You're going to love it. This whole week, because you know what? I want to start the year with health. So you be healthy and live long in Jesus' mighty name. Sure love you. Bye-bye.
Dr. Joel Wallach's groundbreaking studies over decades of research have revealed numerous facts and truths about your health, which are radically different from what you have been led to believe by the medical community. These findings have been distributed worldwide through the material on this phenomenal CD, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, with more than 200 million copies in circulation. Recorded during Dr. Wallach's lectures, this CD touches on a wide range of subjects, including aging, heart disease, cholesterol, arthritis, cancer, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and pregnancy. In all, Dr. Wallach addresses 25 topics and engages in question and answer sessions with the audience. And his book is a comprehensive expansion of the material on the CD, with over 400 pages of information which can significantly impact your quality and length of life. You'll learn how to identify 90 essential nutrients, many of which are not available in food. Prevent and reverse 412 diseases with vitamins, minerals, and herbs. Reach your genetic potential for a long and happy life. Eliminate a major portion of costly medical expenses. Take responsibility for your health, and much, much more. Dr. Wallach's Dead Doctors Don't Lie 400-page book and multi-million selling CD can both be yours today for a gift of $40. It's not too early or too late to gain the knowledge and tools you must have to rescue and revolutionize your health and that of your family and loved ones. Call or order online today.